4 years, we've all learned a lot, and I'm sure we could all tell you a little something about derivatives, or the Revolutionary War, or the major themes of The Great Gatsby. However, these are not the most important things we've learned. We've learned lessons of friendship, of hard work, of dedication, and of love. And we've learned this from the help of all of you, our parents, our families, our friends, and our teachers. We could not have made it to this day without you. On behalf of the class of 2004, I would like to sincerely thank you and welcome you to our commencement ceremony. And now it's my pleasure to invite the rest of the class officers to join me in presenting our senior class gift.
I would first like to thank Mr. Smith for making such a special senior class gift this year. This podium is in memory of Dr. William Duke, Laura Steffel, and Blake Burleson. Is presented by the class of 2004 to Mr. John Williams and Carmel High School.
On behalf of Carmel High School, I proudly accept this wonderful gift from the class of 2004. It has become the practice the last few years for the seniors to present as their gift a work of art. And this beautiful podium certainly is a work of art. I'd like to recognize Mr. Dave Smith, the Carmel Industrial Technology teacher who created this podium for us. I know he's in the audience. Can we give him a round of applause? To the seniors, again, I'd like to thank you for our gift. A senior gift is symbolic of all that you have given to your school over the past 4 years. You should be proud to know that Carmel High School is certainly a better place because you were here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the commencement ceremony for the Carmel High School class of 2004. I want to congratulate and thank all of our parents, families, and friends who are with us this afternoon. Graduation is a huge step in a young person's life, and it is appropriate that those responsible are here to celebrate. Being here today is another example of the love and support you have given to the more than 800 students who are receiving their diplomas today. I would like to offer my personal thanks to the class of 2004, my first graduating class. From the beginning of the year, you have welcomed me and made me feel at home. Your class has had many accomplishments, both academically and in the many extracurricular events that you've participated in. However, I would tell you that your greatest accomplishment is the kind of young adults you have become. I am proud to have gotten to know you and to have served as your principal. I wish you the very best of the luck, and remember, I hope this doesn't sound too hokey, but no matter where you go or what you become, you will always be a Greyhound. Speaking of those who are responsible for this, I would like to recognize some people who are very important to what we do at Carmel High School. First, our superintendent, Dr. Barb Underwood. Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Libby Connor. Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Dr. Steven Stepanoff. Next, members of our Board of Education, whose names you will find listed in your program this afternoon. Mr. Mark Hartman, President. Mr. Bruce Breeden, Vice President. Mr. Jeff Carter, School Board Member. And Mrs. Angela Corley. I'd like to also recognize Ms. Corley is retiring after 8 years on the board. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce our senior class sponsors, Lisa Roselle, Terry Edwards, and Joy Law. Performing Arts Department, Mr. Richard Saucedo, and members of our Carmel High School Band. The Director of our Ambassadors, Mrs. Ann Conrad, and our Senior Ambassadors. Our Senior Class Officers, Caitlin Davis, Jessica Donaldson, President Caitlin Davis, Vice President Jessica Donaldson, Secretary Jill Delaney, and Treasurer Christina Lee. Members of the Carmel High School administrative team who have played a significant role in preparing for and assisting in tonight's ceremony. Our coordinator, Mr. Lee Lonzo, Mr. John Abel, Mr. John Newton, Mr. Tim Smith, Mr. Bob Brenda, Christy Falink, Mr. Kevin Rowe, Mr. Jim Inskeep, and Mr. Bruce Wolf. Also like for you to please note that the chairpersons of our various academic departments are seated with our graduates this evening. Please have them stand and let's join us expressing our appreciation for their efforts, as well as those many staff members who are here today to help us put this event on. This time I'd like to draw your attention to the commencement program. Inside you will find listed the names of those students who have received scholarship recognition of some kind. There's a lot of names in there. I am pleased to inform you that these scholarships represent over $4.5 million in monetary awards. We are very proud of the class of 2004 for this fine accomplishment. Also listed are the names of those students who ranked in the top 10% of the class of 2004 after 7 semesters. I want to congratulate each of these individuals for maintaining such a high standard of excellence. You will notice that members of this group are wearing a gold stole with their gowns this afternoon. Please note also the list of Carmel High School Academic Honor Diploma recipients. These students have each met the state requirement of earning at least 47 credits, maintaining at least a 3.0 grade point average, with no grade less than a C in the courses in which those credits were earned, and taking these courses in particular subject areas as outlined in our program of studies. Finally, please note the names of the recipients of the Presidential Education Award winners. These students have met the criteria set by our President's Office and the Department of Education, which includes a minimum 3.5 grade point average earned in a prescribed set of subject areas, as well as scores at the 85th percentile and above on a nationally recognized standardized achievement test. Please join me in congratulating these members of these groups. Also, I'm told to remind you that a videotape of this afternoon's commencement ceremony is available for purchase. You may pick up an order form at the back camera position this afternoon in the Carmel High School Activities Office, and also one was sent home inside the last PTO newsletter. At this time, we will begin our series of addresses by our class salutatorian, Jessica Donaldson, our 2 valedictorians, Christopher Kanitra and Philip Noman, and our class president, Caitlin Davis. The addresses will be followed by the traditional passing of the torch for learning and the Carmel anthem sung by our senior ambassadors, directed by Miss Ann Conrad. Jessica.
Good afternoon, relatives, friends, faculty, and fellow classmates. Having played in the commencement band since freshman year, good job guys, I heard band. I've listened to my fair share of graduation speeches throughout the years. I always thought it'd be so cool if I got to give a speech until they actually asked me. I'm not a speechwriter. I mean, I got my 1 A- in an English class. Thank you, Ms. Jones. However, since I was given this opportunity, I plan to take advantage of it. When I look back at the success of the class of 2004, I'm in awe. The athletic winning streaks, the club and team championships, the awards, honors, it truly is amazing and shows the many diverse talents we have. But all of that is just a small part of the true successes of this class. If we leave Carmel High School thinking that the number of trophies can measure success, we have already forgotten what CHS has offered and taught us. True, we have added more than our fair share of hardware and accolades to decorate the halls of our high school, but we also leave behind triumphs that are not measured in terms of wins and losses. These triumphs were overcoming adversities, uniting together, and standing up for what we believe in. The one attribute of which our class can be most proud is our support for those in their time of need. Over the years, we've raised thousands of dollars for various groups, purchased holiday presents for underprivileged families, helped build a Habitat for Humanity house, and truly banded together as a class this past homecoming to raise money for our very own charity, the St. Vincent's Children's Hospital, even when it meant acting ridiculous in front of everyone during our senior cheer. However, the true test of our class came when one of our very own classmates was the one struggling. The support we rallied behind Laura Steffel during her battle with cancer was incredible. The hours volunteered, donations, and overall air of encouragement was invaluable to Laura, her family, and I know especially to her friends. Uniting our large and diverse class in support of our classmate and friend, now there is true success. So, here we find ourselves. After 4 short years, we're sitting at Verizon in the midst of our long-awaited and anticipated graduation ceremony. This is the last time the Carmel High School class of 2004 will all be together, unless we have a remarkable turnout at our first reunion. We are all about to leave the comfort of our temporary home, CHS, and enter the next phase of our lives, wherever that might be. The somewhat selfish side of me is happy that a small handful of you have chosen to join me at IU next year. On the other hand, I'm also pleased to know that many more of you have chosen paths that will lead you to various places all over the nation and world. Carmel High School has given us a strong foundation and prepared us for the future, and we will now be able to separate ourselves and make our marks on the world. As Irving Berlin said, the toughest thing about success is that you've got to keep on being a success. I have no doubt that each person wearing one of these goofy outfits tonight will achieve great things in the future. I know that these words will soon be forgotten, but the things that we have accomplished and will accomplish will live on forever. The one thing that I really don't want to forget is thank you to the teachers, administrators, and staff at Carmel High School for your guidance, encouragement, and support over the years. You're the best. Congratulations, you may now, wrong speech. Congratulations, Carmel High School class of 2004.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jessica. During our last 4 years together, we've all experienced many different activities that had impacts on us, learned valuable lessons, and met new people who will influence our lives forever. And there's a scene in the movie City Slickers, starring Billy Crystal, where a cowboy tells Billy Crystal that the secret to life is one thing, just one. And of course, Billy Crystal eagerly asks him, what is that one thing? And the cowboy tells him that he has to figure it out for himself. But once he does, everything in his life will fall into place around that. Now, this scene made me start thinking that perhaps I could discover what this one thing was based on my 4 years in high school. And as I tried to do this, each time I thought of what the one thing could be, I thought of someone in the class who it didn't apply to. And I discovered that the one thing really is different for each person. For high school, the one thing could have been having a group of close friends, excelling in sports or academics, being in a leadership role, or just getting involved in new clubs or activities. Throughout high school, each of us has pursued different paths, been a part of different groups, and participated in different events. And I talked to several people about their experiences in high school, and each one had distinct memories and distinct lessons that they had learned. Yet, regardless of what they had been involved in for high school, each person I talked to enjoyed their experience and took something with them. And I finally came to only one conclusion that I felt applied to the entire senior class, and that's best described by a quote from another movie, A Bronx Tale. And at the end of this movie, the narrator says that the worst thing in life is wasted talent. And this is my challenge to you. Never waste your talent. Regardless of what your talent may be, never waste it. Too often in life, people do things just for a visible reward such as money or recognition. And to quote another movie that I'm sure most of you have seen, Fight Club, you're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. Some of the most rewarding work is that for which no recognition is given. And this challenge goes for everyday recreational activities as well as your careers. Find a way to express your talent. During my senior year, I tried to go to several different activities around the high school, and in doing so, I witnessed the many talents that our senior class possesses. At sporting events, for example, everyone clearly sees the actions of the star athletes. What you don't see is the work the managers, trainers, statisticians, and others put in behind the scenes. At the plays and musicals, the audience clearly sees the performance of the star singers and actors. But what you don't see are the efforts of the crew. The audience doesn't see the hard work put in by the costume designers and set designers, the stage technicians, the sound and lighting crews, and others who work behind the scenes to make those events possible. Even for high school sponsored events, such as school convos, dances, concerts, Care to Share, students in the student government put an enormous amount of work in behind the scenes to make sure that those events run smoothly. And in all of these cases, the people who work behind the scenes enjoy what they do and excel at their position. They have a talent for their respective positions and do it not for the visible rewards, but for their own personal satisfaction. These students are necessary to make all of these events possible, but are too often taken for granted. As we leave Carmel High School on our various paths, my challenge to you is to do what you enjoy and express your talents, whatever they may be. If you remember one thing from this speech, remember, the worst thing in life is wasted talent. Thank you to all of you, good luck, and congratulations to the class of 2004.
Thank you, Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would just like to say, Mom and Dad, wherever you are, thank you, and I'll try not to embarrass you too much. For those of you who know me, and by now I hope that I know most of you, you are well aware that I am a person rarely at a loss for words. But as I stand up here today and look over this bobbing sea of blue and white gowns and funny square caps, I can only unearth one word to describe this moment. Amazing. Simply amazing. It's amazing that 4 years ago, we could only dream of this day. Most of us have anticipated our graduation since first walking into Carmel High School. For some of us, this moment was the only motivation to rise for school every morning. And while this occasion will be the pinnacle or the greatest memory that you will keep from our time in high school, I urge you to remember all of the priceless experiences that brought you here today. Every experience that we had at Carmel, whether personally or shared collectively, was an opportunity, a door to be opened and discovered. Now, through all of those doors, it's amazing to be this close to the end. The past few weeks have been a time of reflection for me. It's been a time to recall all of the anticipation that I felt on my first days concerning what I would learn and what I would experience. Now, with the final days behind me, I can say with a sense of clarity that all of the expectations that I had for high school did not even compare to the experiences that I have been able to live. I have come to realize what a great opportunity that my time at Carmel High School has proved to be. With my reflection, I decided to compile a list of all the lessons that I learned from this opportunity and all that it taught me. I'd like to share some of the more formidable ones with you. I stress that it is a short list. I learned to study, or more appropriately, I learned to cram. I learned plot lines and literary terms. I learned 15 Spanish verb tenses and seemingly endless lists of vocabulary. I learned about microbiology and Bernoulli. I learned how to stipple. It's a good technique. I learned implicit differentiation, and then I quickly learned to forget it. And even when I wasn't learning academic material, every experience that I had proved to be a lesson. More often than not, it was a lesson in common sense. For example, I learned not to blow huge bubblegum bubbles when your hair is this long. I learned that hair gel is not edible. I learned not to stick fingers in staplers. I learned not to challenge students with black belts in karate while having no formal training in the martial arts myself. And most importantly, I learned not to stick paper clips in electrical outlets. It's obvious, but all this happened in high school. It's kind of sad. My list goes on, but I think I've touched on some of the more important parts. Every lesson was an opportunity, a door which allowed me to grow, to learn, to move forward. My first challenge for you today is that in the next months while you're vacationing or working or preparing for future endeavors, that you take time to reflect on your time at Carmel High School. Make a list of your own and realize the wonderful opportunities that you had here. The diploma that you will receive tonight puts the final seal on your high school career, but it also opens the way for far greater opportunities in the future. It's like a great metaphoric hall pass, if you will, that allows you to go anywhere you could possibly want, anywhere you could possibly dream, anywhere you could possibly desire. You no longer have to get permissions from your teachers or your principals because their signature is already on it. The destination of this pass is wholly within you. Which doors will you choose to open? As graduates of Carmel High School, great success is guaranteed to you, pending you pursue it with great passion and great fervor. The world is waiting before you. Grab it by the tail and own it. It's yours. In closing, I would like to share a few words from an inspiring writer, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, "Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm." So, be proud of your accomplishments. Celebrate this occasion with your family and your friends. Sing a song, dance a dance, and seize every opportunity that comes your way and make the most of it. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2004.
Thank you. Over the past 4 years, we've gone through many changes, not just as a class, but as a society as a whole. Freshman year, we were put into a situation we hadn't experienced before, being the lowest of the low. During one of our first class meetings, Mr. Lonzo talked to us and said that we needed to get involved and cherish our memories because our time here would go fast. At the time, I didn't think he knew what he was talking about. But after the first couple of months, I realized he was right. Our time would fly by. We started off the year with an unsuccessful attempt at a glass float, an amazing trip to Kings Island, and magazine sales. When sophomore year rolled up, we knew it would be different. Never again would we be the kids running down the halls with our books piled high, nor would we be the ones for all the punchlines and the senior jokes. The year started off by taking the dreaded I-step. If I learned anything with the I-step, it would have to be, a lep is a ball. Remember, a lep is a ball. Unfortunately, that year our I-step was interrupted by the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center. Before this, we thought we were invincible, but we soon realized that even the U.S. could be the target for such devastating attacks. We lost fellow Americans and loved ones. After a while, we realized we needed to move on. But then we were hit with yet another blow. We found out that one of our own had a return of cancer. This individual was Laura Steffel. Laura had an amazing heart and was willing to do anything to help out a classmate, even though she was ill. Laura participated in class floats, went to prom, and much, much more. We were almost there. We could see the finish line of being underclassmen when another hit came at us. Our beloved principal, Dr. William Duke, was also diagnosed with cancer. With our year ending, we had 2 greyhounds in our hopes and our prayers. When junior year began, we were 1 greyhound short by the passing of Laura Steffel. Laura succumbed to cancer over the summer. Even after her death, Laura's spirit lives on through Laura's lounge in the nurse's office and a breakfast in her honor for students and their parents. When Mr. John Abel, acting as principal, this year seemed to be one of a kind. We started off the year by trying to claim a chance of the float being the best. Unfortunately, our recreation of SpongeBob didn't do the trick. We decided to claim the throne next year. Our year was going on without any major problems when the war in Iraq started. Again, our fellow Americans were losing their lives for us. Then prom came up, our first official upperclassmen only dance, and we organized it. We dressed up and went to dinner for a fabulous night in Carmel. The rest of the year we thought about our fellow Americans as well as Dr. Duke. Dr. Duke could be seen walking around the halls of Carmel High School even though he had gone through so much. We knew that he cared and he wanted to be with us. Finally, senior year. We were ready to do all the things the seniors before had done, but this year was different. This year, Carmel High School was introduced to our new principal, Mr. John Williams. While some felt we didn't need someone new to come in, I cannot see Carmel High School without him. Mr. Williams came in and had to fill the shoes of someone who is loved by all. Mr. Williams didn't try to replace Dr. Duke, he made his own footprints. Mr. Williams, while only slipping up once during our homecoming activities about our mascot, is one excellent greyhound. It came time for the homecoming activities, and we were going to win the float contest and every other homecoming activity, but we didn't. It's not that we lost the float contest, it's that there wasn't one. This year, all of our activities got changed to volunteer activities and activities for charity. We built children's playhouses for charities, cleaned the Monon, and made class cheers. And while we won, we also made some person's day. After homecoming passed, our football team did something amazing. They beat Warren Central, the #1 seeded team in the state. With this, we knew our year was going to be awesome. We won homecoming activities, we beat Warren Central. What could hurt us? What we didn't know is that Dr. Duke's cancer wasn't leaving and actually was getting much worse. During our fall semester of our senior year, Dr. Duke passed away. With his passing, he left a legacy that won't be forgotten. Dr. Duke was involved in so many different things. He played in the administrator's band, watched our sports teams play. He came to see the plays and choir concerts at Carmel. We needed to keep moving for his sake, so we did. We watched our girls' soccer team win its 4th straight championship title in a row, and our boys and girls' swim teams win their state championships. With our senior breakfast and our senior skip day came to us with relief, because that meant we only had a few weeks left of high school. Now that it's over, I feel an odd sense of sadness. Not that I'm out of high school, but because I won't see the people I've had classes with for the past 4 years ever again. Nor will I be able to hear Skeens Benton's famous announcements or see the bright faces of our school nurses. With all the hardships that our class and society has gone through, we've made it out okay. So now that we leave a place that has been our home for the past 4 years, I challenge you, when things get too hard or seem too tough to go on, remember, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
This time I'd like to have Annie Graham and Molly Giles, our current student body president and speaker of the House, come up for the traditional passing of the flame to Bree Aleto, and Mercedes Reed, our officers for next year.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Welcome, friends, family, and graduates. Annie and I come before you today to pass the torch of learning and explain this Carmel High School tradition. The candle next to the podium represents the torch, but it symbolizes so much more. However, before Annie goes into the importance behind the torch, I would like to tell you the story behind the candle. Carmel High School used to hold its graduation ceremony in the varsity gym. The graduating seniors would each nominate one underclassman to participate in the torch passing ceremony. The seniors and the underclassmen would all receive candles, and the seniors would use their candles to light those of the underclassmen. The two groups of scholars would walk into the gym and sit in different sections. The seniors would blow out their candles, leaving only the flames of the underclassmen's lit. Now that Carmel is the biggest high school in the state, Annie and I represent the upperclassmen, and Bree and Mercedes are the future for Carmel High School.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Isn't it nice to have this on a lovely afternoon? We have good weather. I'm Annie Graham, and like she said, Molly Giles. And Molly and I have given more speeches together in the past year than I can count. So as we stand before you for the last time, we know that today our role is different than any other we've had before. Today, not only do we pass on the torch of learning, but we are symbols of its meaning. Representing the class of 2004, we pass on a reputation of love and passion, along with a tradition of faith and respect. We represent those of you who love drama, orchestra, photography, and ceramics, those who have passion for technology and journalism, faith in little preschoolers, and respect for running, swimming, tackling, and dribbling, and student government. But whatever the case may be, Molly and I are honored and so proud to be a part of this group of young people that have proven to be boundless leaders. Before Molly and I close here this afternoon, graduates, if you turn around, you will see the faces of many people that love you and care for you and can't wait for you to walk across the stage. And families, even though you are sitting here today because of all of us, ultimately, we are here because of you. And if anyone would cry, it'd be me. To my family, I love you and I owe everything to you. To my best friends for life, and to Molly, my partner in crime, I couldn't have done it without you. Edith Wharton, an American novelist, once said, "There are two ways of spreading light, to be the candle or to be the mirror that reflects it. We've been the candle, now let's be the mirror." So to the class of 05, as you receive the torch of learning, Molly and I wish all of you good luck in the future and pray that you are blessed always. Thank you.
Please stand and join our senior ambassadors one more time singing the Carmel High School alma mater. This time we need just a few moments to rearrange the stage for the awarding the diplomas, and if we could have the first line go ahead and stand up and move.
David Auer, and you will notice David is not walking across the stage. He left this morning to serve in our armed forces and could not be here for his graduation. Prayers and well wishes go with David. We promised we would read his name. Corrine Avenius. Christopher Ayers. Molly Babcock. Yevgeny Baburin.
Ashley Goddard. Michael Godek. Jacqueline Goye. Aaron Goldman. Elise Goodman. Kristen Goodwin. Caitlin. Sean Griffin. Anthony Griffin Jr. Alexander Griggs. Brandon Grimmer. Sarah Hesseling. Whitney Hershinger. Andrew Poe. Min Poe.
Joshua McKee. Jessica McLean. Justin McManus. Catherine McMullen. Justin
Joshua Stark. Brian Starkey. Angela Starkey. Jeremy Starling. Elizabeth Steele. Ernest Tellis. Mark Teller. John Terzini. Lindsay Thomas.
Remind you all to check for presents from the birds on your cap, as someone behind me pointed out to mine. And now, go Reds, and join me in the traditional moving of the tassels.